What is happening, guys? I hope everybody is doing well. It is me, your host, Chappy. I'm just making sure I set everything up properly. Hope everybody's Turkey Day was wonderful. Hey, Julie, the Lego Man 10, and Raph. Alright, let me just twist my mustache and prim my sad attempt at facial hair into place. We are going to do some creepy, spoopy stories. Whoa, new beard. Oh, you haven't been around in a while. Yeah. It's, I'm growing the mustache back out. The same mustache y'all saw from Too Many Games. I'm going to try to put this back in. I know this doesn't hurt as bad right now, but let's see, just for you guys. That hurt immediately. What was I putting on there? Looks so great. It's seriously sweet. Hope you did too, Chip. Well, thank you, Julie. I sure did. It was actually a really good time. Um, oh, come on. I'm gonna get this. Need to find a way to open this thing up just a little bit. I used to have a certain way of doing this. Let's see if I can still do it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I need to probably close it a little bit. I just ripped that guy a new one. Oh. Yeah. All right. Chad, what's going on? Uh, Chad was one of the people at the dinner tonight. He is family by marriage. What's going on, buddy? Just a, just a. We don't cuss a whole bunch in here. I may cuss when I'm telling a story. I'm gonna make you a moderator because, well, you know, your family and pretty much everybody in here that's been here a while is a moderator. Um, just don't pick on people. Be cool with everybody, and I don't have to mute you. But no, everybody be cool with Chad. He's it's family. He seemed really interested in the YouTube thing, and I was just kind of filling him in. He's like, "Cool, man, I'll be there." Just playing some Xbox. Awesome, awesome. What were you playing, bud? Oh, I'm getting all. There we go. Let's make sure my nose ring is good to go. Wait, hang on. There we go. I probably don't need to wear the headset. Let me see. I might be able to. Let me fix this real quick. Y'all can probably still hear me. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So I think y'all can hear me if I just set the mic right here. Let me know. If the sound sounds bad, I can turn it up just a little bit. Actually, no, I can't. It's already turned up, but I can do some gain stuff and change some settings and whatnot. Alright, you guys ready for some spooky no-sleep stories? I know I'm ready for some. Sadly, the stream cannot go on for very long tonight, but we'll see how it goes. It says we only have 3 people in here. Only 4. I guess everybody's tired and sleepy. You said the mic started magically working again. Yes, it did. Just this headset, the mic just started working. I need to get me some cables so I can have my DSLR for my camera. And well, this side's curving, but this side's not. Damn it to hell. Ooh. Yeah, whatever. I'll have my DSLR. I gotta get some lights and I gotta get my camera. Microphone. Because you guys haven't seen my professional equipment. It's professional for me. All right. Oh, that felt so good. Let's go to no slep. There's no slep. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the mic. I woke up and it's like, all right, I'm gonna go, and my damn fan. This laptop is gonna be the death of me. It's fine. We're just gonna let it go. It sounds like a mini jet's taking off. So we've got a story that's 10 hours old and it's got 1,500 upvotes. And this one's titled, "I'm a drug dealer and you shouldn't smoke what I'm selling." This is by Christian Wallace, Wallis. It's already got 2 gold and 3 silvers. It's pretty good. If you like the story, go ahead and show it some love on Reddit and give it some upvotes. Oh, gotta control V it. Let me see here. There's the story. You know the drill. Reading's hard, okay? I'm just gonna warn you there. We'll suffer through it together. But it is what it is, guys. So let's do this. Oh, we're up to 5 here, and it says 8 here. I know. I have anywhere from 5 to 8 viewers. Whatever. It's cool. Um, hey, Tenra. It starts with people needing some help. It might be a girl you like, or some guys you're trying to impress, or even just an old buddy you bump into on the street. The important thing is that you've got a reputation for smoking weed and they'd like some. Maybe they're new to the town, maybe they want to throw a party, they want to impress someone off, but they need you. They need your help. So that's what you do. You just start to help them by buying weed on their half. And then you'll start charging extra because it's sometimes regular and it's more than just a favor. And then you realize you're putting so much time into what you need to find someone who sells large amounts at a discount. I'm having a hard time reading this one. You know what? I didn't even check. Oh. It's a really good story, but it's so long. Oh, we're gonna try. F it. Eventually, you realize weed won't cut it. The margins are too low and works too hard. By now, you have 4 phones, way to find friends in Facebook, a day job, and fucking hate. And so much of your time goes to the dealer that you give up hopes if you want to be a hobby. I'm really having a hard time reading this. I'll Oh, and of course, you have your own addiction to take care of. Most of the time, you'll be lucky to break even, but selling weed helps. Maybe the guy you bought off the mentioned mushrooms or MDMA or something else that's common. But the important thing to remember is that it's surprisingly short road to heroin. It pays the most, weighs the little, and if you don't have to worry about spreading yourself too thin, you'll now be able to get a little book for real valuable. You'll be able to get a little book of your real valuable repeat customers. And if you're like me, you might just have had enough sense to never try your own product. But it's still a problem. Every person who buys is a ticking time bomb, a walking liability. And every day you work this job, you're not doing something else, something with prospects, and it only takes one arrest to fuck it all up. And I only take one idiot to lead to that arrest. See, what I did... Oh, God damn it. I'm going to get this. See, what I did was went after a certain kind of client, someone who threw lucky. Oh, Jesus. Someone who threw lucky in opportunity. I can't read. Hang on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Opportunity. Opportunity. Opportunity? Opportunity is rich enough to hide addiction. Oh, God damn it. I can't read this right now. I can't do it. Hang on a second. Put this back on. I want to read this story. Hang on 1 second. I'm having a hell of a time right now, guys. This happens from time to time. I apologize. We might come back to that one. Or we might just not do any tonight. Because I'm having a hell of a time. Because I can read and see the words, but making them go to my tongue, and I'm not even drunk. Let me see here. It's also midnight. Whatever. I suck at reading. Let me try something. Let's see if I can read a short one. I'll make this work. You stand by. I appreciate you guys holding on for me. My brain is right now. Length. Micro. You still with us, Chad? Chad's like, man, this guy can't read for shit right now. I'm like, I know. I'm having a hard time. Let's try this one. Let's try that one. A warning about silence. Everyone, regardless of their particular mental state, has a curious kind of background noise in their minds. When the noise takes a form of original music, we can call it being genius. When it sounds like voices, we tend to call it damn it. I'll get this. I'll bumble through this. I got hung up on schizophrenia. It happens. Try that again. When it sounds like voices, we tend to call it schizophrenia. A single voice is often referred to as religion. Most people go through their entire life without ever being aware of this omnipresent oral phenomenon, save for those rare moments when it catches their attention. Perhaps they think they're all heard their names being called, or that they've been listening to the air rushing through their vents in their house, one way or another, though the noise is here. You can hear it as you... Let me try. I tripped over my words there. You can hear it if you listen for it. Take it easy, Tinra. You can hear it if you listen for it. Lie down in a quiet room and focus on cleaning your mind. Mute your internal monologue. Erase the scenes from your imagination and let yourself sink into the silence. Before long, the whispers of that hidden soundtrack will become oh, evident? Yeah, that's evident. And then I just almost, whatever. Then grow louder as you learn to recognize them. It could be that you'll find answers to questions you didn't even know you were asking, or perhaps discover a sense of inner peace that has been lacking in your life. Some folks refer to it as meditation, even as they're mistaken about what's really going on. The truth, you see, is much less comforting. If you've ever gone walking in the woods, you're likely encountered by a cacophony of noises. The songs of birds, the chirping of insects, and the quiet rustles of small animals rustling through the undergrowth, becoming so commonplace that your mind tends to tune them out. What we notice, though, is when it happens when a predator draws near. The chorus abruptly stops. The forest becomes deathly still. A person walking amidst the sudden silence might feel the hairs on the back of their necks start to rise, and notice their heart pounding with a mixture of adrenaline and dread. When you listen to the sounds in your mind, it doesn't matter what form they take. What matters is you can hear them all. As long as that clamor is present, you know that you're safe. All is well, even in most of times. The danger arises that noises seem to stop when you suddenly experience the most potent silence that you've ever encountered. In that moment, you might start to feel as though you're being watched. After all, in that still forest, the predator is the quietest of all. Try it for yourself if you like. The next time you're completely alone, imagine you are listening to a sound of some kind. Then when that sound seems to stop, you'll know that you've been noticed. I sort of got through that one. I promise I know how to read, guys. I've shown evidence in my other streams. I've written that one. Read that one. Intuitive advertising. trying to find a good one for you guys. You like that one? I didn't like that one. I'm having a hell of a time learning how to read again. Oh well. Let me do this by sort by highest rating. Oh, I've read Lightning before. That's one of my videos on my channel. The Portraits, aka The Cabin in the Woods. Here's a story I'm going to try to read. I don't know. We'll see. Let's give it a shot, guys. Oh, man. This is written by Anonymous. If you like these stories and you think that you want to read them without me fucking them up, I suggest you click the links and give them a shot. Don't read them out loud because, just read them. You might like the stories. Anyways, this is The Portraits, aka The Cabin in the Woods. There was a hunter in the woods who, after a long day hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until he was clear of increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Open. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, decided to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around, he surprised to see the walls adorned by many portraits, all painted in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable, making a concerted effort to to ignore the many hateful faces. He turned to face the wall and exhausted. He fell into a restless sleep. Face down in an unfamiliar bed, he turned, blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered the cabin had no portraits, only windows. It'd probably be creepier if I read that again. The hunter flopped down to the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. He looked around, was surprised to see the walls adorned by many portraits, all painted in incredible detail, without exception. They appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable, making a concerted effort to ignore the many fateful faces. He turned to the face of the wall, and exhausted, he fell restless asleep. Face down in an unfamiliar bed, he turned, blinking in an unexpected sunlight. He looked up to discover the cabin had no portraits, only windows. Yeah, that's better. It doesn't make it creepier. But, I really should just test these stories before I read them. I've read that one. The Boy Who Loved to Read. Would that be me? I don't love to read. Hey, Loic. How you doing, buddy? Lessons from the Shadows of Hiroshima. Stupid dial. This is written by Stupid Dial Up. All right. We'll give this one a shot. I'm going to save that other story for another time when I'm more comfortable reading big words like though and the. This is Lessons from the Shadows of Hiroshima. As long as I can fix my hair. Daddy, why do they hate us? Oh, sweetie, it may seem like they hate us, but really, it's more like they chose us. But Daddy, I didn't want to be picked. Neither did I, Pumpkin, but unfortunately, it is with will of greater men and a greater God. This will be the last nuclear war the world will see. There is an old saying that one must destroy before they can create. It's like when you play with your Lego blocks. Once you build something, you don't have to take it apart in order to build something bigger and better. It is in the same thing with men and cities. Couldn't they have picked other cities? They have, my baby, many others. But we have been chosen because we're just consume too much. Because we just consume too much. There isn't enough food and materials to go around anymore. And because of that, there is too much evil in the world now. You know how scary it can be when you and your brother come with us to the market, don't you, baby? Yes, Daddy. Now it's been 9 minutes since the sirens have gone off. I want you to be brave, my angel. We're going to be immortal after today. That means we're going to live forever. No more pain, no more hunger, no more hurt. That doesn't sound so bad now, does it? It's time for us to tell each other goodbye. I love you so much, my baby. I'm so proud of you. Now, let's grab our signs and head outside. The Smiths family strapped their hollow stenciled signs over their backs and above their heads as they positioned themselves in front of a large, immobile marble slab. They clasped hands in a row and closed their eyes. The tears rolling down their cheeks evaporate immediately, as do their bodies, once the nuclear blast reaches them. Their permanent shadows burn against the marble, leaving a message for the survivor of the great reduction. We forgive you, lest not be in vain. Got the mic working. I did. Um, Take that damn thing out. Whatever. Yeah. Huh. How you doing, buddy? You doing good? With your image? I love that thing. It looks like Tape Face. Is that who your image is of? Or is it of you? That's you like 3 years ago? Oh, okay. It looks kind of like tape face, but it's not a big photo. It's a striking image. Oh my god, that story was so sad. Well, good night. I have to get sleep for work tomorrow. Chad, I hope you have a wonderful night. It's usually not this bad in here. I can usually read better than this, but, you know. Um, I don't know if you're going to hear me say this, but it was very nice meeting you tonight. And have creepy dreams. We're going to do one more story. Maybe another one after this, but I don't know. This one's called The Bad Dream. Daddy, I had a bad dream. You blink your eyes and pull up on your elbows. Your clock glows red in the darkness. It's 3:23. Do you want to climb into bed and tell me about it? No, Daddy. The oddest of the oddness of the situation wakes you up fully. You can barely make out your daughter's pale form in the darkness of your room. Why not, sweetie? Because in my dream, when I told you about the dream, the thing wearing mommy's skin sat up. For a moment, you feel paralyzed. You can't take your eyes off your daughter. The covers behind you begin to shift. Ooh, I like that one. That one gave me goosebumps. I really like that one. Here's another one. This one's called 403. It was 4:03 in the morning, and I woke up screaming. It was my dream. In my dream, I watched everyone I ever knew or loved be killed by the creature. It had a short, fat body and long, slender arms which ended with claws that looked more like swords than claws. Its eyes were slits that glowed red in the darkness, and its teeth were long like horns and sharp like steak knives. It looked at me before it killed them and laughed each time before it ripped apart my loved ones with its sharp claws. How had it found us? It tricked me into letting it into my home by mimicking the voice of my father. It couldn't come in without permission, it told me after it ripped out my mother's heart. The dream ended with the creature laughing its evil crackle and slowly walking towards me, dragging its claws on the floor. I screamed and sat up. I was in my room, in my bed, safe again. 4:03. I hear a knock at the door. I froze up instantly. Tommy, I heard you screaming. Are you all right? I heard my mother say. What a relief, Mom's here. I'm fine, Mom. Just had a bad dream. I replied, the relief washing over me. Okay, honey. I got you a glass of water. Do you want it? Mom said back to me. Sure, come in, I said. As those words left my mouth, I remembered that it was September, and I had moved back to my college dorm 3 weeks ago. Dudes fuck. I want to read this story, but you won't get it unless you were to click on the link after I'm done singing it. Or, after you click on the link after I'm done reading it. Why aren't you up this late is the question. So, I'm going to read this story, and at the end, I want you to click the link and do what the story says. Don't do it now. Or you can do it now, it doesn't matter. This is called The Message. Don't dismiss this outright as a work of some raving lunatic. There is some sense to this story if you just hear me out. Look, we will all wonder if time travel is possible, right? Well, let me tell you something. It is. I'm from the future, actually. I know you probably don't believe me, but seriously, I'm from the future. It's really great. Getting to see the past, watching events unfold, stuff like that. We know more than we ever would. Behind all the fun, though, there's a more serious aspect. We aren't supposed to go into our own lifetime, and we are never allowed to contact our past selves. Let me tell you, I'm breaking that rule right now. Yes, kid, you're talking to yourself, your future self. I'm going to be executed for this, but you know what? I accept that. I'm preventing something by talking to you that's worse than death. I can't tell you outright what to do because the filters would catch it. This is the closest I can get, trust me. I can, however, send you a little message. You should probably read the first words of every paragraph now. Whatever. Oh, oh, that's the fart one. I'm not reading the fart story. They're creepy pastas. All stories are meh. Get out of here, crazy. Which one is this? Oh, I've read these. I'll read one more story, and then it's bedtime for you. For you lots. I always like that term. No nail biting. It's fine. This story's called The Girl in the Picture. One school day, a boy named Tom was sitting in class and doing math. It was 6 more minutes until after school. He was doing his homework. Something caught his eye. His desk was next to the window. He turned and stared outside. It looked like a picture. When it was home time at school, he ran to the spot where he saw it. He ran so fast that no one else could grab it. He picked it up and smiled. It had pictured the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. She had a dress with with tights on and red shoes. Her hand was formed into a peace sign. She was so beautiful he wanted to meet her. So he ran all over the school and asked everyone if they knew her or have they ever seen her before, but everyone he asked said no. He was devastated. When he was home, he asked his older sister if she might know the girl, but unfortunately she said no, it was very late. So Tom walked up the stairs, placed the picture on his bedside table, and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, Tom was awakened by the tap on his window. It was like a nail tapping. He got scared. After the tapping, he heard a giggle. He saw a shadow near his window. So he got out of his bed, walked toward his window, opened it, and followed the giggling. By the time he reached it, it was gone. The next day, again he asked his neighbors if they knew her. Everyone said sorry, no. When his mother came home, he even asked her if she knew who she was. She said no. He went to his room and placed the picture on his desk and fell asleep. Once again, he was awakened by a tapping. He took the picture and followed the giggling. He walked across the road and suddenly he got hit by a car. He was dead with the picture in hand. The driver got out of the car and tried to help him, but it was too late. Suddenly, he saw the picture and picked it up. He smiled. He saw a cute girl holding up 3 fingers. That was pretty good. I like that. Wait, hi, Mom? Who's Mom? You guys. The letters. You were out of town for the weekend. When you came back to your apartment, your mailbox was stuffed full, at least 30 letters. Letters with no return address. Several of them felt soggy and heavy, as though they were recently wet or perhaps contained a liquid. All of the letters have your name and address written on them. Many of them had your name scratched all over them in red. They didn't smell nice. They smelled like rotting meat, old garbage, and you're reluctant to take them back to your room. But curiosity gets the best of you. You manage to cart them all back to your room and dump them on your kitchenette sink because you don't want them smelling up the rest of your apartment. You grab one that doesn't seem damp and isn't covered with writing and open it up. There's a picture inside. Pictures of people you don't know, with their eyes torn out, teeth missing, unhinged jaws hanging open, throats ripped out. You're horrified, and yet you can't help but wonder what's in the rest of the letters. You open more and more to discover increasingly gruesome photos of dead people, piles of bodies with it says limbs missing, splayed open corpses on operating tables with their vital organs removed, hanging bodies that have been gutted and bled dry. Some of the soggy letters had blood and other fluids in them. The more letters you open, the more you notice that not all of the people are strangers. Some of them were people you see at work. Others, people you went to high school with. By the time you get to the last few letters, the pictures are now mutilated bodies of your close friends and family members. Eventually, you reach the last letter. You don't want to know what's in it, but it's not like you have a choice now. You peel the letter open, and it's a picture of yourself, not dead, eyes intact, no limbs missing. It's a picture of you entering your apartment building earlier that day, shortly before you collected your disgusting letters. As you hear a door open elsewhere in your apartment open, you black out. Julia's mom, Chappy is a creepy pasta. I'm just here. Whatever. What does that button do? Oh, cool. I have performance metrics now. I can tell you, I don't like kilobytes per second. I want megabytes a second, whatever. I think I've read that story a few times, but it's always fun. Wait. I'll show you. Careful with the vapes. I should find a vaping story. This one's called The Window. This will be our last story, guys. Ha! I love it. What, the story? Right on. The Window. I was in my bedroom doing the typical at-home teenager thing, staying up late. I did. I messaged you back, crazy. Let me start over. I was in my bedroom doing the typical at-home teenager thing, staying up late, digging around the depths of the internet, and generally not paying attention to anything other than what I was on my that was on my monitor. It was the early morning, around 2 o'clock, and everyone in the house was asleep but me. The room was nice and warm despite it being the dead of winter. Since we had the windows replaced last week, we had been losing heat, especially in the bedrooms, though some old storm windows. Nope, that's through some old storm windows. Meanie? Whatever. We'd been losing heat, especially. I say especially, it's especially. In my bedroom, through some old storm windows, but the bitter cold was now kept outside. I don't remember what I was doing. I think, in the terror that consumed me, I must have forgotten. I heard a noise at my window. Not the sound of a bug flying into it or the shrubs brushing against it. No. It was an odd noise. A thumping sound. Something I had never heard before. I didn't think anything of it initially. Whether that was because I genuinely believed that nothing of that it was nothing, or because I didn't want to find out what it was, I can't say. But I sat there for a moment and just listened to it. It was distinctly rhythmic. Thump, thump, thump. It only lasted 15 seconds or so, then it stopped. I shuddered, but shrugged it off, and after spending another hour or two browsing and consciously not looking towards the window, turned off my computer and fell into an uneasy but uneventful sleep. This morning, after the sun had been up for a few hours, and the things that go bump in the night were doing whatever they do during the daylight hours, I walked to my window and spent a few minutes trying to replicate the sound I had heard. I tapped the window, bumped it with some soft objects, even locked and unlocked it, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out what had made the sound. Nothing I did was even close. I figured that the event had been a fluke, and the day was normal until this evening. My dad arrived home from work at the usual time and decided that the house was too stuffy, so he came into my room and went to open the window. We're in Texas, so winter evenings are sometimes very comfortable, as the case today. Never in my life before that moment I have genuinely wished to be deaf. My dad forgot to unlock the window before trying to open it. When he pulled up, it produced the same noise I heard last night. My window only has handles on the inside. That one was pretty good. And I don't even keep a gun in my house, but if I heard something like that, I'd be... I would have pissed myself, I think. And maybe pooped. Maybe pooped. So guys, that concludes our creepy time this evening. It started off pretty rough, as sometimes it does. But there is a story that I'm going to read to y'all. It's called I'm a Drug Dealer, and You Shouldn't Smoke What I'm Selling. Tell you a story. Alright, I've been streaming for about an hour, and I already read like 4 or 5 of them, so no more stories. That was good. But I do want to read this story that I'm a drug dealer and you shouldn't smoke what I'm selling. So I'm going to leave it up on my screen. Uh, you know what? I sort of do want to read one more. You know what? We'll read one more. There's a Fresh Prince one. Alright. Here's one. Oh, I'm not reading that story right now. Tina Kingsley just subscribed. Well, thank you, Tina. Um, it's good to know that still works. We're going to read this story. It's called Mistakes. There's the link if you want to go ahead and rate these stories. You've made a lot of mistakes. You've made a lot of them, but you've always managed to escape the consequences so far. You know the flash out of the corner of your eye, like picking up some peripheral movement just out of sight. And then you turn your head and there's nothing there. That was one of the times you've made a mistake. That creeping, unsettling feeling that you're being watched, that there is something dark and sinister near that you can't see, that's a warning. Tens of thousands of years of instinct have driven into your body that you're about to mistake. And that unexplained bruise, that fresh cut you can't remember receiving, those times you wake up sweating, screaming, in the breath like you had just ran a marathon and can't remember why, those were times they almost got you. What are they? Well, It's hard to describe. Imagine trying to explain red to a blind man. You can't really explain it. You just have to experience it yourself. And you really don't want to experience this. I can tell you that you are just one thing to them, food. And they can keep you alive for quite a long time while they eat. You've probably heard of at least one unexplained sound while you read this or listened. Maybe it's nothing, but sometimes it's one of them trying to break through to find you. But they won't, not unless you make a mistake. When you make a mistake, it's like dangling a piece of meat in front of a pack of hungry dogs and then yanking it away again. Sometimes they don't react quick enough. Sometimes they do. There are many unsolved disappearances over the centuries. It's hard to tell how many were victims of their own kind and how many were simply made by mistake. You see, it's when people are most worried about making the mistake that they tend to mess up the most. What mistakes are there to be made? If I told you that, you'd just make sure you didn't do them anymore. And that would be a shame. We almost got you last time. That was garbage. Ooh, snacks. Well, alright, guys. That was the last story. It was terrible, but eh. eh. Anyways, you know I love you guys. But it is time to say goodbye now that everybody's showing up. This chappy has to get some sleep and get some, what the hell's that noise? Oh, what the hell? I hear myself. Oh, that's weird. I don't know where I'm hearing myself from. Hang on a second. Huh. Okay, better. Discord was going nuts. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Oh, because I hung the... I'm stupid. Anyways, I don't know why I took my headset off before I was done with the stream. I gotta get out of here. I'm getting me some sleeps. But I may not stream tomorrow. Or if I do, it'll be early. Like before 5. And that's not really a spoopy time, so we might play a video game. But I am going to go bowling with my family tomorrow and then karaoke after. Happy not Thanksgiving. That's right. Bye, Chappy. Nice new face hair. Thanks, Chappy. Good night. We can't hear you. Bye. Okay, better night. Echo, echo, echo. Hey, Seansa. Happy not Thanksgiving. Hey, Julie. Bye, Julie. LOL. Ha ha ha. Pew. Lamau. Well, alright, guys. You know I love you. We gotta, you latecomers, we gotta work on getting you here on time. But it's fine. I understand. There's other there's other things. There's other things that, you're worried about. My nose is messing me up. Have a great time tomorrow, Chappy. Good night. I sure will. Maybe I'll do a karaoke video for you guys. Anyways. Be good, guys. And, I really should put this on my quick bar. I'm going to do that now. Bam.